This is called Orpheus On and Off the Road. A blinding locust storm in southern Illinois. The kids who picked me up stole this Ford, drinking and joyriding, reveling toward the coast. And when they stopped to let me pry the black gook off the wipers, they screech away, hysterical, my rucksack in their trunk. I have surrendered to the road and pray as I hitch, buffeted by each passing truck. It will provide. And so it does. 2 more rides, Iowa cornfield to sleep, dancing stalks and whispers. To be found, you must be lost. Falling stars throughout the night, roads almost abandoned. A Mustang of 6-packs and 4 small-town girls heading nowhere fast. And this next one's Orpheus Hops of Freight. 90 miles it takes from dawn to dusk, but I am in no hurry. Dangling my feet over the boxcar's edge, sprawled in grit and grime. My father, that great solar disk, hitches behind, coupled to the final car, rolling along the sedge of Lake Michigan shore. Like him, I have all day and several more. Those poets I stood among yesterday are all dead. Ginsberg, Rexroth, Duncan, and Oppen. I shout their songs over the roar of this rolling line and shred them to cars at flashing gates, to children chasing death along the tracks and trestles. Hear these words I say, but prepare for mine, breaking toward the night in which Chicago nestles. This is called The Orphic Liar Stumbling on the Way Down. An evening dress cut low and back, recalled. Fingers playing up and down the fret of her long spine. Her resonant strings taut, my hand sliding and sliding further, bold and unfended, finding itself in another key, another mode, cupping the softness of her breast, swelling up from her consecutive body, the nipple demanding rigidly to be touched, almost frantic, almost garish, and the revulsion, this innocent first-time cop, never imagined or else imagined wrong, this sudden admission to her flesh, like a water moccasin in the putt-putt sand trap, or a sidewinder in the artificial lake, that song. In Venice once, we stood upon a bridge and stared into the Black Canal, the arch of the Bridge of Sighs spanning that long stretch beneath us. As we leaned over the ledge, I felt his fingers at my throat, tearing apart my collar, tightening around my neck. We were alone, the others off on some trek. Silly girl, he said, I want to feel your heart. It skipped 2 beats as something tried to pierce. Was it my breast he felt? Was it my heart? Did he want to know if he could make it stop and then start again? The wind so fierce it hurt. He stopped to pick a new Faust at the bookshop. I knew it wasn't love, but some dark force. So this is called The Descent. Finding the entrance is easy. Any farm boy shooting rabbits will sooner or later step on ground that gives. There's no trick, just keep going down the jagged slope. Enjoy descent for its own sake, the narrow path that hasn't shifted since death himself took over ages ago. The cushion of mud that covers your tracks, no one above suspects trampled grass. You must do it alone. The only treachery comes from hanging rocks and unseen refuse, harder than stone, left by other lovers. The river is so pure, you might confuse it with her song or soul or other rivers that flow between your words and what they signify. You know, of course, I made the whole thing up. I knew how much you loved the sentimental, mistook it for sublime. She died, yes, love couldn't keep her here with me, a grievous snakebite sonnet of fall. Me, not far behind, storming the gates, my voice pitched and oracular, a bluesy modal key progressing toward inspired states. Years back, that's how I got her to choose me. The truth is this, she didn't want return. She'd found the role of muse oppressive, me getting all the wows and credit. Down here she'd learned to sing. Perhaps she'd find a muse to give her own heart to, and doing so might gaze into his eyes and read in them the flames of praise. This is Orpheus in therapy. All that singing and And all that grand passion was not for her, oh no. Let's be quite honest. No, not to praise her beauty or the rest of her fine package. Just listen, calm down. No, not her face or bolt of lightning hair, not the arch in her back, and not the place you came to rest inside. Refrain from, cease these dangerous delusions. All you care about is the wild note of your own sick grief, and how those jingling tears might serve as currency in hell, and how that plucked string resounds inside the dark, hand-picked audience of stone. You'd found the perfect lick, and then look back to see if she approved. Friends tell me, take advantage now that she's gone. Write and then write more, otherwise you'll waste your talent. Kill only time. Forget cruel fate. I'd like to see them try. Instead, hone your skill. Sure, they mean well, but still, it's just too hard. Poems need a modicum of joy or tranquil reverie to rise, to deploy, but not bald pain. It's just too thick, this crust congealed, choking off my voice. It's like asking Priam to frolic at Hector's death, or Niobe fresh with loss to strike a sexy pose. I know sooner or later, both of them will willingly turn traitor to grief. As for me, don't hold your breath. So this is called Orpheus Parties with the Modern Dancers. They eat and sleep and bathe in a crazed mansion. Their entire lives are one interrupted rehearsal under the arched flex foot of their German master Helmut, who brought with him all the German expressionism, his own face a blank and horrid mask. They play James Brown to help their bashful guests get down, but slap and cluck their own rhythms, deploy postmodern moves like dancing off the beat and sending spasmic chains across the dance floor, paroxysms of grief augmenting the summer heat. You try your best to move amid the shirtless roar, baffled by the strange new hierarchy that someday soon will shred you to the core. What can I do to save myself from their attack? A committee, brutal and efficient, dead set on tearing me apart. My words just whet appetite and blade. They mock my careful music. We've heard about your great love, they rant, your brave descent whipping death, mano a mano. Sure, he gave her back, for who is he but some runt who'd stuff our daughter's cunts full of himself? You must have worked it out before. We know men share their women. That's how they bond. What you call matrimony, we call rape and abuse. Observe the brooding poet picking flowers, deflowering his muse. But who do you think these muses are but maenads, repentant, clothed, and in their right mind? Terminal diagnosis. He walks into the room which awaits him with eagerness and trepidation. He's had a full dose of chemo today and radiation to shrink the tumor, steroids to alleviate side effects. Death, he says, makes everyone kind. He's never realized this before. Maybe it's the steroids, but he could take on the defensive line of any NFL team. His wife is frightened that he might. She is distressed by how talkative he's become. Every emotion laid out in front of them. Turns out he does, she learns, despise the job he's inhabited for decades. Colleagues, co-workers, they're all crooks, chiselers, imposters. He can say that now, though he never let on before. He's funny, hysterical, both straight man or deadwood and comic, honeymoon mishaps, father-daughter bonding, lawnmower levity, and genuine fondness for the kid he's hired to rehab his place. When it's time for him to go, others refill wine glasses and clink with cheer. It's not so bad, they think. Look at what it's done for him. Thanks.